Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, October 20th. It is 6:20 right now. Market's going to open in about 10 minutes. So give me a few moments to set up this room and then we'll get started shortly. So there's a couple things here to update. Looks good. Looks good. Couple more things down here. Let's see. Okay. All right. Looks like we're pretty much good to go for the most part. So with that said, let me go ahead and mark up this right here and send you guys a link in the premium. All right, solid. All right, so as people make their way into the room, I'm gonna go ahead and mark up the zones around current price. So we have a bit of an idea where price is likely to go. So we got one up here, right here, there. There. All right, so we got a bit of a couple zones here, a bit spread out, which is fine. It's actually better rather than having them all stuck in one area. What I'm gonna do over here is I'm gonna make this one a little bigger just to have both of the zones in there. And this one down here as well. Just needs to be dropped a little lower. So I think we're good from there. Sue's here so far. Morning, Sarah. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Peter. Morning, everybody. So today is Thursday, October 20th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes, guys. Hopefully the market's more directional today. As you guys have seen for the past 2 days now, market's kind of been all over the place. Monday was actually a really good day. We made a lot of profit on that day. And then Tuesday and Wednesday have just been, a lot of back and forth movement. It's been difficult to find entries. Today, I was expecting more of a directional move. It has been very directional pre-market. You can see prices pretty much ranging between this high right here and this low. Price just bounces, down, up, sideways. And we'll see if it starts to move directional, once the market actually opens at 6:30. So currently right now it looks sideways, but we'll see what happens when the market does open in a few minutes. Let me go ahead and mark up the high lows over here so that you guys can identify the market structure. Yeah, so this right here is going to be the market structure for the moment. You can see price has been ranging for a while now between this area. Hopefully it breaks out of it and moves directional after. But yeah, price has been pretty much ranging for about an hour now. So in price ranges like this, our main focus is going to be the SR rejection strategy. We'll see. We'll see what we can get from here as price continues to move around. I'm hoping it continues to move directional. So we got about 5 minutes till open. Let me see if there was news. I believe there was news at 5 o'clock today, or 5:30 actually. So there was US news over here at 5:30. US Philly manufacturing index negative, unemployment claims positive. Mark it up over here. 5:30 a.m. There. So this was 5:30. US news mixed. So price pretty much faked out above. So you can see from this candle right here, this is where news came out at 5:30. Price came up, faked out, and came all the way down, and now it's been ranging down here. We have another news event coming up over here at 7 o'clock and 7:30. So I will be marking that up over here as well. Hopefully this doesn't get in the way. If you guys have seen a couple of trades that came up, a couple of days ago, it typically came up around like the news, which was unfortunate because we missed like some pretty good entries at that point. Morning, Pat. Morning, Karen. Morning, everybody. Rashida said she thinks the breakout may be a buy. She has a buy analysis off the 1 hour. Yeah, sure. We'll take a look at that, Rashida. Right now we have a sell signal, but we have about 4 minutes still open. So this can easily provide for a buy signal, and it can possibly go in your direction. Also looking over here at the overall bias, sentiment is right down the middle, 52%. Fundamentals here are 52 points in the green. 2% long. And both 52 points. 52 points and 52% long. Looking over here at the long-term direction. So long-term trend is bullish. 1 hour trend is neutral. 30-minute trend is neutral as well. 15-minute trend is bullish. I'll just leave it at neutral because it keeps bouncing between neutral and bullish, and we'll come back to it later when the market actually opens. And the 10 minutes also bullish. So with that said, it's pretty mixed. As you guys can see right here, it's a mixed bag. 4 hours bullish, 1 hour's neutral, 30-minute, 15-minute neutral, 10 minutes also bullish, but we'll see if that holds. Let's see, DeJohn said no class today, so I won't be missing any trades. Yeah, no, definitely, DeJohn. So we'll see what happens with this breakout here. I mean, yeah, we'll just have to take it as it comes. The market here has not been to I don't know, it's a weird market because we're technically, I mean, we are officially in fall. Typically the market moves pretty directional. By now, we're into late October. So what we have to do next is we just have to play it by ear and see what we're going to be looking for. I mean, we're in a weird market. If you guys have seen, like, whenever Biden like confirmed something, I was talking to Kip about this. Is Kip in here? And we were talking about this. I don't know. Biden is just he creates a lot of uncertainty in the market. That's the word. Before, when Trump was president, he was like very directional. He was very clear on like what he was pushing for. For Biden here, it just doesn't seem like he knows what he's talking about. He'll say one thing, then he does the opposite, and it just screws up the market because people don't know where to trade, right? If he has influence in the market, he has to say something that, like, price is going one way. Like, say we're in a recession. If he says we're in a recession, then great, price will go down. But he says we're in a recession, but we're not, and then he's making changes to avoid it. It's just all over the place. Also, there's news over here of the Prime Minister of UK, Liz Truss. She resigned. That'll probably affect, these other pairs here, like GU, EU, certain FX pairs. But for US30, it's probably not going to affect it too much. Anyways, market's going to open in about 20 seconds, guys. When the market opens, we'll see where price goes. There's not really much of a direction. You can see here from the overall bias, it's pretty mixed. So price can really go in either direction. Right now, we have a sell signal. So when the market opens here in the next 5 seconds, we'll see if we get a buy signal, it can possibly push up, or if we get a confirmation of a strong red candle, which would technically be the breakout. So we'll see what happens here. I'm not going to take the breakout, guys. As I mentioned, until price is really confirmed that it's moving directional, I'm not going to take any of these breakouts. I'll follow them, but I'm not going to take them on my live accounts. It's just too risky of a move. Also, 500 pips is a big, it could be a big profit, or it could be a big setback, depending on like what lot size you're using. So here goes, price pushes up. I mean, if anything, I'll probably take this smaller lot size, and not today, but at some point in the future, once we have confirmation of direction. Right now, there's just no confirmation at all. Price is barely moving, surprisingly. The market is now open, but I mean, this candle has been moving about like 100 pips. It's weird for opening price. Typically, it's moving like 1,000 pips. All right, so sentiment hasn't changed at all. Fundamentals here are still the same. Here goes, price pushes up. So Rashida, this is what you were looking for that buy. If this closes as a strong green candle, this would technically be the breakout for you. Does not look like it's closing yet, but we have about 40 seconds left on this candle. So we got a lot of time. Yeah, Dejan said it might be the fears of recession that's keeping it from moving directional. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Dejan. It's just there's just a lot of uncertainty in the market, right? Like we know we're going to a recession, but a lot of people keep saying the opposite. Some people say we are, some people say we aren't. It's just it's a mixed bag. Hey, Slava, morning. All right, guys, 6:31 right now. Yeah, about 5 seconds. Does not look like this is going to close as the candle that you need, Rashida. So definitely no buy here just yet. Unfortunately, it looks like price is doing exactly what it's been doing yesterday and the day before. It's just going sideways, right? So you can see right here, there's no direction at all. Market opened here, price just going back and forth. Here's the clean chart right here. You can see that the range is still the same. Price faked out above, pulled right back into this area here. I'm going to go and mark up opening price. So this is the opening candle. Cut the threshold at 7 and 8 o'clock. So yeah, there's not really much going on here at all. It's just another trash market to start off, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes from there. I mean, technically, this would have been a high-low quick scalp, but it's right at opening price, so we could not take that trade there. We had the high right here, wick right here. This would have been a technical high-low quick scalp, which would have hit TP, but we couldn't take that because it's right at the opening price. All right, so this is our clean chart. I'll come back and refer to this chart, throughout the session, just to show you guys if, we're still in a range or if price is actually moving directional. Right now, we're still in a range. See how big this range is. I mean, it's a pretty big range, about 1,000 pips. All right, so here you go with this back and forth movement. Still no direction here. Price is pretty much just cutting up and below opening price. Definitely not the best market to trade in right now. I mean, if we were to look for trades here, this would be the SR rejection market conditions. I'd probably hold off on taking any high-low quick scalps right now. For one, it's too close to opening price, and for two, there just isn't any. I mean, there's no direction. You need somewhat of a direction for the high-low quick scalp. You need somewhat of a moderate direction at least. Trend meter is blue, so we can't take any SR rejection entries at the moment. David over here hopped into some buys. He made a small profit. He said way too risky, blocking the total profit of 21 for the day. So nice work right there, David. But yeah, I do agree with you. Super risky. The volatility here is it's kind of mixed. You get a lot of like big spikes, but you don't really have like that smooth push. Like these candles here don't hold. You get a big spike here, comes right back up, big spike here, and then it just sits down in the middle right here. Here on the clean chart, you can see it a lot better. Still within this area. The thing that you want to look out for here, guys, is so you would probably look for this. You'll either look for price to break above, retest and continue, or in the opposite, right below, retest and continue. Right. Once you have that, then you'll have some sort of direction, like you'll know where to trade from this point, right? Until we get this though, I mean, there's nothing that we can take because price just keeps ranging around this area. Worst part is that it just keeps ranging around opening price. So there's really no direction here at all. This blue line is opening price, and you can see how price just keeps spiking up and down from, this area right here. Deswell said he needs 2,000 to pass his verification. Yeah, be careful today, Deswell. I mean, if you have a lot of time on the, on your challenge still, or your verification, I would just, I would wait for something quality. There's no quality entries here because, I mean, you can get lucky here. Like, don't get me wrong, anyone can get lucky here because the range just keeps going back and forth. But the problem is if you get unlucky at some point, like you keep trying to trade within the range, and price ends up choosing a direction, eventually goes up or eventually goes down, then you're gonna get screwed. So I would wait for some sort of direction, does well for you enter any trades here. It looks like price is trying to go below. If that becomes the case, then maybe we'll have some sort of bias here. Don't have anything yet, but so here's the thing that you want to look out for though. If price does break below, you want to make sure it actually closes, because you can see right here, price above, it broke, faked out, came back down. Again, right here, if price breaks out below here but doesn't close, it can fake out and swing right back up, right? So it's a couple of things there to pay attention to. Karen said 10-minute snipe about to hit another setup. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, there's a possible 10-minute snipe right here. If you guys are looking to take this, it's a little risky, but I could probably see it hit. It's just we don't have a direction right now. That's why I'm like kind of inclined to just chill on this. But if you guys want to take it, I'll mark it up for you guys right here. I'm not going to take it myself, but I will mark it up. The thing with this candle too is that it's also a really big candle, and the wicks on both sides are kind of making it a bit uncertain for me. Yeah, the wick on here is massive. That's why I'm not really looking to take this, because if it does retrace up, it might hit your stop loss before it comes down and hit your TP. So I will mark it up for you guys so that you guys can follow it, but I'm not going to take this trade myself. Back to the 1 minute over here. There's still nothing going on. Price is pulling right back to opening price. So as you guys can see, there's no direction here at all on the 1 minute. This is probably a worse market than yesterday. I thought today was going to be a bit better, but it's actually worse because it's not even going anywhere. At least yesterday, price pushed away, faked out, came back down, and it was moving directional. So you could take trades, in certain directions. But for this here, there's like literally no direction. For the market's been open for about 18 minutes now. About 18 minutes or so. Actually, sorry, it's only been open for 8 minutes. It feels like it's been open for 18 minutes. But within the first 8 minutes, there's been no direction. There was no breakout. Breakout has to happen within the first 5 minutes. Obviously, no direction here. You can see price just ranged between these areas. And here it is again, back at opening price. Yeah, there's just nothing here. It's just same old. Right, here it goes. Price pushes up above the opening price. So basically what we're looking for here, guys, is we're looking for price to break above or below. Because once it breaks above or below, we'll have some sort of direction to follow. So for example, if price breaks above here, we'll have it retest the structure and continue. That's like one scenario. Scenario number two is the opposite direction, right? You can see how price just keeps bouncing around opening price right here. Scenario number two is price breaks below here, retests, and continues this way. Once we have one of these directions confirmed, then great, because we can start looking for trades in those directions. But at the moment, we don't have any of this stuff. So like, for example, if price breaks above here, target price point is going to be the sessions, right? That's where price wants to reach, or noose price, because price dropped from there and never came back up. Vice versa, if price breaks below here, target price point is going to be this sessions. So either way, we're looking for price to go either above or below, but it's not doing anything right now. So here goes that entry for the snipe. Again, I'm not in this position right here, but I'm just following it to show you guys possible entry. Let me check the snipe requirements again. I haven't even taken the strategy myself in a while. 10-minute snipe. So the problem with this here too is that we don't really have an overall bias, right? So I don't know if this would be an entry technically, Karen. Overall bias requires retail sentiment, fundamental bias, and technical bias. Looking over here, and I'll just copy this to this screen over here. There really isn't a bias here, right? Because sentiment is 52% long. This typically needs to be above or below 60%. Fundamentals needs to be above or below 100 points. It's at 52 points. 4-hour trend is bullish. 1-hour trend is neutral. 30-minute trend's neutral. 15-minute trend's neutral. Like, it's weird that all of this stuff is neutral here. It should be one direction. But you know, as you can see, there's no true direction here. So while this could be a possible entry, it would be considered risky because the first requirement, you know, it hasn't been met. There's like no bias. So you don't even know which direction to be trading in. Also, the trend meter down here is green. So it's it goes against what we're looking for, right? Because if we're trading the direction of bias, we want to trade where stuff is pointing. And right here, price just keeps going back and forth. So, and it's a good thing that we didn't take this trade because you can see right here, what went straight to stop loss because there's no direction. So I'm gonna clean that up. We didn't take that trade there. That was just something that Karen identified. She did identify it properly as an SR or as a snipe entry. However, it didn't fit the criteria because overall bias is required, first requirement. And here's the overall direction. There's definitely no bias there. It's neutral, 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 somewhat bullish. And this trade was for a sell, so you probably wouldn't want to take it for a sell. Probably want to take it for a buy. Kenny said it's Biden's fault the market is moving. Yeah, I know. Maddie said I had a feeling the market was going to be iffy. Might be one of those days where it smoothens out later in the day, but who knows? Target price, Asia high, and 530 news price. Yeah, and I agree, Maddie. So here we go. As price pushes above. We're back at the 1-minute chart. As I mentioned, price is still within the range, right? It's still within this area. So what we're looking for is for price to satisfy one of these scenarios. Either price pushes up, retests, and continues up higher. This is going to be the target price point, and vice versa. If price breaks below here, retests and continues down, this is going to be the target price point. So I'll leave these markups right here to see if price follows through. But at the moment, there's nothing going on. You can see price is just faking out above and then pulling right back into the zone as it gets to this opening price. The thing that you guys have to understand a lot of the times is that there's going to be times where you shouldn't be trading. Like for right now, you know, for us, we can obviously tell that it's not a good time to trade because we can see how the market looks due to the market structure that I've drawn. Typically, a lot of people will try to force trades around these areas. And that's like the worst thing to do because you can get caught on the wrong side without even knowing it. So it's easy to see here because I've marked this up for you guys. So this is the clean chart that we typically follow. Right here on the clean chart, you can see that I've drawn the zone right here that we're looking for price to break out of, and price is not breaking out of it. Also, I have these horizontal lines right here at the opening price. You can see how price comes down, test it, comes back up, test it, comes below, test it, and just keeps going back and forth. There's no, you know, clear direction with regard to where you want to be trading. So there's really no bias here. If you want to look for a trade, you typically want a bias, but at the moment, definitely no bias for us to follow through with. See, Maddie said won't be taking any trades until it breaks the high and created a higher low and creates a higher low. Yeah, and I'm doing the same thing, Maddie. I'm waiting for it to break out of these areas, like one of these areas here. The alternative to taking trades right now would be the SR rejection scalp, but the trend meter down here is blue. So you can't even apply that strategy, right? You need to have it certain color in order for you to take, you know, specific trades here. There was an SR scalp right here. So there's an SR scalp. This is the only one that came up. So let me zoom in a little bit. This is the only SR scalp that came up right here, but it was at opening price, so you couldn't take it, but this one would have hit full TP. So SR scalp right there. And then it literally went straight to a profit target on open. All right, so price is attempting to break above right here. Hey, Brock, morning. Yeah, nice. Glad to see you here earlier than usual. You're actually on time today, which is a good thing. All right, so price is pushing above here, guys. I have the markup already marked up. We're going to look for it to break above, close, retest, and continue to the upside. If we have that, then we can start looking for some possible entries here. This might be a possible SR rejection entry as well. I mean, the candle looks like it might be too big, but yeah, it's a little too big. So stop loss would be down here, and the candle is just a little too big. It's bigger than the stop loss. However, it looks like it would have hit full TP right here. It's on its way. So we're in a bit of a tricky market. As you guys can see, this is a close entry, but not close enough, because you can see that the stop loss or the candle would have been too big, and you would have gotten caught up with this entry here. But this would be an SR rejection scalp, and there you go, full TP off that there. If you guys took it, great. I tried to warn you guys about it. I would have wanted to take it, but the problem with this is that the candle is just too big. It's starting to move a bit directional, so this is a good thing. Target price point is going to be the sessions right there, sessions and news price. So we'll see how far it pushes from this point. As it pushes a little higher. Dijon said, damn slippage. He was 80 bucks in profit, but only closed at 12. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to be a bit careful with the market, guys, because the way that the market's moving, it's just not really, I don't know, I just don't trust the way it's moving. But we'll see. I mean, if price continues to push up, we'll look for some high-low quick scalps. Otherwise, I mean, target price point is going to be right here, which you can see it's aligning with as it moves along higher. But and we'll see how far it pushes up from there. But the volatility is kind of just all over the place right now. It's bouncing back and forth very erratically. All right, we'll see where it goes. So it's having trouble reaching this resistance right here. We have an SR zone. Right there. So the thing with this here is that price has not really retraced down yet. It retraced slightly right here. So price broke above it, retraced, retested, and then pushed up higher, but it didn't really do a full-on retest, right? It's kind of just bouncing back and forth. As we see it at the moment. There's a big zone right here. Thanks, Fod, for the update. So there's a big zone right here now. It's gonna go and update this. Got that right there. All right, price is coming back down for the retest. Or I don't know, it might be coming back up. It looks like prices broke out above and now it's going back into another range. So what I'll do here is I'll mark up the and that was anticlimactic, right? We were waiting for that big push up and continuation. Price just pushed above and now it's just doing nothing again. We do have news coming up here at 7. Hopefully when we get news here at 7, this will probably push price around, hopefully. The news event is going to be existing home sales and CB leading index. I'm seeing existing home sales to be negative. That's going to be my assumption. I think this is going to be negative. I see the housing market going down as time progresses and we get deeper into this recession. So with interest rates going up, I think this is going to be negative. And CB leading index, this is probably gonna be neutral. We'll see. Let's see, Maddie said hit a 5-minute supply and drop down. Yeah, it looks like your 5-minute supply probably lined up with the SR zone right here. Yeah, Maddie said he doesn't think it's going to hold though. So here goes, price pushes up higher. It still isn't at the target price point. Target price point is going to be this purple line right here. So you can see prices consolidating. I could assume this to possibly consolidate a bit and then at a random just spike up and trigger this area, right? This area right here. So it's probably going to come up, spike up, knock it out, and then come back down. Typically, that's usually what happens. We'll see. Man, this market's like really tempting to hop in, but it's not worth the risk. So let's see, price is pushing up right here. I'm tempted to catch the last like 100 pips right here, right? So see there it goes. That's what I was looking to catch. I was tempted to hop into this for a speculative move and just catch a quick 100 pips right there, and it would have hit. So this is where I was kind of thinking about entering, but it's too late. It did exactly what I just mentioned. So if you guys listen to what I said price is probably going to spike up at random moment, come back up, trigger this area, and then come right back down, which is exactly what happened. Price pushed up. It pretty much wicked off this area right here. And here he goes, price came right back down. Patricia said slippage is crazy right now. You guys want to be careful with these entries. Whenever you guys trade during like crazy conditions like this, you're going to run into a lot of slippage and a lot of bad execution times. So just an FYI, guys, if you guys are trading during these types of conditions, don't be surprised if like you make more profit or you lose more than you expected. So what I'd recommend is to, if the market's moving like this and you're getting slippage, you might want to lower your lot size because you don't want to get too close to your daily loss, right? I've seen a lot of people where they have their TP and stop loss set, but due to slippage, they end up losing like an extra 1,000 or extra $500, and then it passes their daily loss limit. So if you're doing a challenge or you're funded or you're on something like that, because they're very strict on it. If you go over like a penny, you're gonna get that email saying that that you violated one of their terms. Let's see, Barack said that was an LQ call, Sean. Because it fits perfectly. What is LQ, Barack? Oh, liquidity push. Is that what you're talking about? Liquidity. So there's no liquidity right here, Brock. Here's a clean chart. The liquidity is up here. I don't think there was any liquidity around here. There was a high, but in order for it to be liquidity, there needs to be two highs next to each other like this. So see how these are right next to each other? And like, for example, how this is right here as well. This would be considered liquidity. If you just have one line, that's just considered a high. So I wouldn't consider that a liquidity push. That was we already identified that because we had this marked up right here, Brock. So you can see I have it marked up. This is just a target price point. It wasn't liquidity. It was just an area where we were expecting price to go. So I had two scenarios here drawn up. Price was ranging right here. And I said if price breaks above, retest and pushes up higher, target price point is going to be, this sessions. Vice versa. If price came below here, this would be the price point. But price didn't come below here. It came above. Yeah, no problem, Brock. I know it's a little confusing sometimes because we have these SR zones and then we have these high lows. But yeah, they're a bit different. Man, this is like such a crappy week. I thought this week was gonna be a lot better, but it's super slow. Let me check the news for next week. Typically, when you have a week like this is like where you guys can like prep up for a better week, right? Last week was like pretty decent. Let me check the profits from like last week, actually. Yeah, so the profits from last week were actually really good. And the profits on Monday were really good. Yeah, we had about 3 wins last week. So typically, if you have a week like that where the market's really good, or if the next week sucks, then the week after that's probably gonna be pretty good. So that's like how you guys have to play the market. Whenever you guys are analyzing the market, if you see like one week is like super choppy and there's not really many good entries, the week following that is typically going to be a better week. Because like I feel like that's like how the institutions and market makers kind of like plan things out, right? They kind of just screw with the market a little bit have people lose. And then the thing is, and I'm sure it's happened to you guys when you guys started trading, you guys will have like a really bad week, right? And then what happens is you take a break for 1 week after because you blow your account. And I've seen it happen to a lot of people. They take a bunch of bad trades 1 week, they blow their account. The next week they're like, okay, I'm going to take a break. As soon as that next week comes around, everything that they would have taken would have been a straight win. And you guys have probably seen that before too with yourself. Um, it's like the same with like with some months. Like you'll have like 1 month that really sucks, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to take a break from trading. The next month, it's like everything hits, and you're like, damn, I should have kept trading. Um, Yeah, Maddie said last week of the month next week. And Maddie said exactly why you don't need to trade every day. I feel like the less you're on the charts, the more money you make. And he said that's just his opinion, though. And I agree with you too, Maddie. Ever since I started trading for just an hour a day, I've been very consistent. I have very little losses. And I mean, it's just been a better experience with trading because the thing is, if you're trading all day, it just increases your risk of uh, losing a trade and being stressed out. But at least for here, we're just stressed out for like an hour, right? We're stressed out for like an hour and a half. If the market's not good, then we just hold off on it. Let's see. Eunice said there were several SR scalps. Did it just happen right now, Eunice? Or are you talking about like at a different time? I see an SR scalp right here, but it was right at the session. So it's not one that we could have taken. But I do see this one right here. There's like a couple of them. There was one SR scalp that was right here. That would have hit profit target. And there's another one right next to it right here. That would have hit profit target as well. But it was right at the sessions, unfortunately, so we couldn't take them. Natasha said, I'm only trading 2 days a week, but when the market is like this, I can go a whole week without any profits. Yeah, no, that is true, Natasha. But I prefer to have no profits than have blown account, right? That's you got to look at it from that perspective. I feel like a lot of people feel like if they don't make profits for a day or for a week, they think it's like the end of the world. But realistically, if you blow your account, that really is the end of the world. You just threw away money. And that's like where the discipline comes in. It's just, once you trade for a while and you guys start to see how the market moves, you'll start to understand that the market's not about making profits. The market's about not losing. If you guys can, if you guys can visualize that, then it'll open up a lot more opportunity. Because I see a lot of people blow accounts and they just get a new account, like right the next day. Sometimes if you blow account, you should probably take a break just to clear your mind. That was like what I was talking about yesterday with FTMO. FTMO has that 10-day trading period for a reason. It's because they want you to have a cool down period in between. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said you cannot trade for a whole week, then come back next week and have a huge day. Yeah, and that was kind of how it was last week. So like last week, we didn't really have, I didn't take too many profits or not too many trades, but on Monday, I had a whole bunch of profits right here. Not a lot, but I mean, I had pretty decent, right? Like all of these right here. So I mean, it's enough to like hold me over until we have a better market condition to trade in. Question from Barack. Barack said, I got to ask you, if you're on CTrader and have two accounts, do you use a copier? Because I can't get reliable information on this. I've never used CTrader, Barack, so I have no idea. You probably want to ask in the group, but there's a couple of people in the group who do use CTrader. Like Sam, for example. Sam's actual name is CTrader Sam. So if you see Sam in the group, you can probably ask him. Let me check my copy real quick. I mean, there's probably a copier for it, Brock, but there's not one that so my copier is full. I can't copy your copies to all your available accounts. Let me see if I can add an account on here. Well, I don't know if my copier has C trader. Rock. I mean, there's probably you probably have the opportunity to. Let me see. Yeah, for my copier, we don't have a copier for or a social trader tools. You can't add C trader to it. Um, there's only MT4 and MT5. So I mean, there's probably a different copier that you can use, but not one that I've used before. I mean, I've never used C trader, so I don't even know what programs are compatible with that. Yeah, so Sam said he uses a different copier called uh Duplicatum. So if you look in the chat box, Sam actually just responded to you there. Thanks, Sam, for the input. All right, so we had news over here. Thanks, Peter. Peter said that news was neutral and negative, so we'll put that mixed again. I'm hoping this is going to push price around. But I mean, we'll see where it goes from there. So this is going to be 7 a.m. US news mixed. So we got news right there. All right, so this is good. News is right next to each other. So this is a positive thing for us. But we actually want news to be jumbled up in the same area right here to provide some direction for us or some clear direction for us. All right, we're going to sell signal here. Trend meter is green. So if we're looking for some SR rejection, okay, so this might be a possible SR rejection entry right here. You have the wick rejection right there, pending buy signal. See if the candle is too big. All right, we still have 15 seconds on this candle. If this closes with the sell signal, as long as it's not too big of a candle, it's kind of big now. And this stupid candle. Okay, so this candle again, unfortunately, is too big. Or actually, I mean, we could probably still enter this trade here. Let me see if I can make a late entry on this. So this is an entry for an SR scalp. Let me see if I can get into it. I'm not in it yet. Wait for it to come back up. So I'm following it right here on my MT4 to see where it's at. See if I get into it. No. I'm gonna try to set a pending order here. Okay, I'm in it right now. Let's see if it pushes up. I'm in profit right now. It's pushing up full TP. So if you guys took that with me right there, I was waiting for it to pull down a little bit. As it pulled down, I set a pending order there. It filled it, shot up, hit my TP, and I'm out. So if you guys took it, let's see, Maddie said it's at 5:30 news price. I think it's down here, right, Maddie? Because I haven't marked up on mine. Or did I move it? Yeah, it's like right there. So it was an okay entry. If you guys took it, great. I took it, so I made profit off that. Let's see how much I made. Made 910, some slippage, but it's all good. So there goes our one entry for right now. I've been using a smaller stop loss, guys. So my stop loss has been at 200 pips because I've just been using that for the high low quick scalp. And that's pretty much where my TP stop loss has been. So if you guys took it, I mean, you guys should have a lot of opportunity to pull out by now. And we'll be looking for another entry here as price continues to move along. There's another entry right here, but it's going to be right at the session, so we can't take that trade there. Yeah, the candle is too big, and it's too close to the sessions above there. So no entry available at that specific time. see. I think some of you guys posted some profits here as well. Let me scroll up real quick. So Rashida over here, she said she's been scalping her 1 hour buy analysis. Nice. So Rashida has a 1 hour buy analysis here, and she just keeps buying like when she sees the entries come up. So she's been trading for buys pretty much all day today, locking a total profit of 12,344. Nice work, Rashida. It's amazing. So this is why you guys want a direction, right? So Rashida's been analyzing it. She's had a direction for a buy. I had the markup over here to show that if price pushed up, we continue in that direction, and it's been working perfect for Rashida. So she's had a direction this whole time, and she just keeps taking buys as these entries come up. Variation V1s, high low quick scalps, SR rejection entries, etc. And she's locked in like pretty much straight wins. One loss right there. Looks like it might have been an accident. It was only $100, so might have been an accident, or you probably would have moved your stop loss in profit, and it just hit some slippage. But great profit there, Rashida. 12,000 in profit for the day. Scotty over here currently up 894. Nice work, Scotty. It's a great profit right there too by Scotty. We got Patrick over here, took the buy with us, locking the total profit of 1,000 off that trade. Nice work, Patrick. Scotty over here with some more profit, currently up 2,268. So it looks like a lot of you guys ate off that SR scalp that we saw. Patricia over here as well. Patricia's currently up 4,855. Nice work, Patricia. So patience does play out, right? If you guys can wait for these entries, it'll pay off eventually. It's going to be a wait, but if you guys can just wait, it'll eventually hit. So Brock over here as well. Brock said going slow to reduce some risk today. Session will give me more. He's sure, definitely. So Brock is currently up 132.50 for the day. Nice work, Brock. David over here said, I'm off way too risky. Yeah, definitely a good decision to just call it a day, David. So David over here now up 1680, or for just that one trade. Solid work right there. Maddie said pulled his 80 position because it was getting close to open. Total profit for Maddie over here. He's been trading some Forex pairs and then NASDAQ as well. Total profit of 1,129. Solid work, Maddie. All right, I think that's it for right now. If you guys have any more profits, feel free to post them up. Otherwise we will continue to look for entries here. Oh, you're right, Maddie. My bad. So you're talking about the news candle right here. It was on top. Gotcha. Yeah, no, you're right. That was, it was really close to the red flag. It just barely touched it, but you're right. That would have been considered a red flag right there. But thankfully it did play out proper. And I've been putting those news prices on the wrong candle or the wrong side lately. I have to remember to double check it. Yeah, thanks for clearing that up, Maddie. Because I was confused for a second, but I see what you mean there. I put it at the wrong side. Yeah, but the analysis still played out. So guys, the thing with these red flags is that you don't have to follow them. Like for me personally, I usually follow them, but you can see that a lot of times it'll still hit. So just keep that in mind. It's not a requirement, but it is recommended. Yeah, Maddie said he didn't want to risk it personally, which I agree. I wouldn't have risked it either, Maddie, if I knew that it was in the wrong place. But it's all good. Just glad it played out. Anyways, price is pushing up. We now have a direction for the day. We've been waiting for this for quite some time now. Price did push up. So here's the setup here that I pretty much marked out for you guys, and the liquidity here did hit. So basically price was below this point down here. You guys remember where market was open, right? I mentioned if price pushes up, retests and continues, it's going to set up the direction. And that's exactly what happened here. Price pushed up, retraced, pushed up higher, and now we have a bullish direction for the day so far. So, we'll see how long it continues to push up, but for right now, we do have somewhat of a bullish bias. Liquidity here just got knocked out. Now we're into a bigger range right here. So a couple things to look out for, whether price is going to continue pushing up or whether it's going to stay within this range. If this becomes a range, that's completely fine. We just got to make sure that it stays within this area or if it continues to push up. So we do have a bullish bias here. What we'll be looking for is we'll be looking for a couple of things like high low quick scalps to the buy side. Let me check the trend to see if everything is bullish. 10-minute is bullish. 15-minute is bullish. $30-minute is bullish. One hour is bullish. So everything's pretty bullish now. I mean, if price stays above here, then we do have a bullish bias. I'm pretty sure fundamentals are up like over 100 points now. Yep, they're up 313 points, 315 points now. So 315. Last thing to look at is going to be the retail sentiment. Retail sentiment's 50-50. So this is going to be long-term direction. It's pretty neutral, but for now, we will be using the trend and fundamentals to confirm, direction of price, which is bullish right now. So we have a bullish bias, obviously. What we need here is a couple of things. We need price to retrace, so we have some variations or high-low quick scalps. Vice versa for the SR rejections, we need price to come back down here for rejection off structure. So, we'll see where this ends up going. Looking over here at CNBC, it says existing home sales fall to a 10-year low in September as mortgage rates soar. So this is exactly what I mentioned this before it even happened, right? When the news was coming up, I was saying that this is going to be negative because, obvious reasons. Interest rates are so high, people can't even afford houses right now. Yeah. So it considered it neutral right here, but realistically it's negative because it's been at the 10-year low. And it's been at a low for a while now. All right. Yeah, so it looks like the rates are still going up. And that's crazy. It says the average rate on a 30-year fixed home loan is now just over 7%. That's crazy. It went from 3% to 7%. If you guys can, if you guys can fathom how much that is, that's a lot in interest, right? So like, for example, if you're buying like a $500,000 house times 3%, or sorry, 500,000, paying that much in like mortgage tax, and then now it's 7%, so you go to same house. It's like more than double, basically. It's 35,000 divided by 15. Yeah, it's more than doubled. So it's crazy. Yeah, Rick said closer to 8 with no points. Yeah, exactly. Rick knows. This is Rick's specialty. Housing markets is crazy. And I was thinking about buying a house too this year. I'm probably gonna have to wait another year. It's just not. It just doesn't make any sense to buy a house right now. Unless you have the money to just blow on a house, then yeah, but it's crazy. Yeah, Rick said you don't get 7%, LOL, closer to 8 points, 8 with no points. Yeah, and it's just going up. It's probably gonna go up to 9 at some point. Yeah, and Charles said that he got his house at 199 last year. Yeah, COVID time was crazy. Anyone could buy like stuff with like such a low rate. Prices were higher, but the rate was lower. So it actually made more sense to buy it with a lower rate with a higher price, because now it's just crazy. All right, yeah, thanks, Maddie. Maddie said you might get a high-low quick scalp, but never mind, there's a momentum signal right there. So unfortunately, no high-low quick scalp. We were looking for that right here because we did have the low come up. However, the momentum signal came up. So this is probably going to push down a bit before it swings back up. Yeah, Rick said buy in the next year and just refi in 2 years. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Rick. So, I'm in no rush to buy a house. It's a big investment. Not even really investment in this case if you're gonna buy for this much. Rick said back to open. I don't know. We'll see, Rick. Let's see how far is it from there. So let's just measure it to see how far is it from the opening price. It's about 2,600, 2,650 pips. It could make it back down there, Rick. I wouldn't doubt it. But in order for it to get to that point, I think price would need to break below, structure here. I think this is what we would need to happen to even get anywhere near the opening price. Gotcha. Okay, so Rick starts looking for back to open once he reaches 200 points, which is a smart move because once he reaches 200 points, price is usually gassed at that point. It's gassed and it's ready to go the other way. There's a high-low quick scalp right here. I don't know if anyone saw this right here, but I know there was a pending sell signal. So I'm not sure if there was one on this specific candle, but that would have been the high-low quick scalp that you were looking for, Maddie. And it looks like it would have went straight to TP. Did you see it, Maddie, whether it had a pending momentum on it? I mean, either way, this one would have hit. This is low right here. There was no sell momentum. I don't know if this one had it on it, but this one would have went straight to it. It did? Okay, thanks, Brian. Thanks for the heads up. So this one actually had a pending momentum, so we probably would have skipped it. I assumed it would have a pending momentum since this one over here did too. Yeah, Maddie said he didn't bother looking because it's kind of overextended, which yeah, I agree with you too, Maddie. It's way overextended. So let's see. Yeah, this is actually pretty high. So like from opening price to where price pushed up to, it's pushed up 3,000 pips. So what Rick was referring to is that he typically likes to see when it pushes up around 200 pips or 2,000 pips. The thing that you can see here too, Rick, is like you can wait for price because you can see how it's consolidating. Price pushes up, consolidates a bit, and you can see it's starting to make its way back down. So this is another pattern that you guys can look for. This is like another reversal pattern where price will basically move directional. It'll consolidate because once it starts to consolidate right here, it's going to have to break out, right? So for example, right here, if you look at this, how price is going sideways at this point, it's going to have to break out one way or the other. So once it breaks out this way, to the bottom, if you're looking for that back to open, you just want to see it reach an initial target and then retest it, which would be the sessions right here. So basically break and close past the sessions, retest and continue. Once you have that, then odds of it coming back down to open are very likely. But at the moment right now, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case until, it breaks out of the zone. So let me go over here and mark up the high lows. You got a high there, low right there. Again, the range that we're currently at right here. Oh, man. This market is not the market we're looking for. So looking over here at the indices, pretty much all indices are up right now. The Dow is up 323 points, S&P's up 30 points, Nasdaq's up 122 points, Russell 2K is up 8 points. So for the most part, I mean, it does look bullish. We'll see how long does it hold for, because it looks like it's starting to squeeze here. As price starts to squeeze tighter and tighter right here, it's just getting ready for a breakout. So we'll see where it goes from there. Nice. Yeah. So Rashida said it's hit her 1 hour TP2 already. Nice work, Rashida. So looking at that right there, I know she was looking at the well, now that price is bullish, you can actually look for snipes in that direction. There's actually one right here. I don't know if actually no, that wouldn't have been, because it looks like the body's touching the pivot there. Let me go back one candle. So when this candle right here closed, it wasn't touching the body yet, that green pivot. So this is technically an entry for a snipe. I don't know if anyone saw this. I know some of you guys were looking at the snipes here. I forgot who it was earlier. I think it was Karen. Yeah, it was Karen. So Karen mentioned that earlier about the snipe. There's actually a buy snipe here. The candle here, however, was too big, so it's not one that I would necessarily take myself personally. because you can see how big this candle is due for retracement. But if you were to take this trade here, it would have hit TP right there with like little to no drawdown. So with these snipes here, when you're testing them, you just have to go back and replay it, because right here, it looks like it's touching the body. But if you go back to the actual candle before it closed, or right when it closed, you can see here that it actually wasn't touching the body. It's close to it, but not touching it. And this went hand in hand with Rashida's entry too. There's actually a daily entry right here. I didn't even notice this. Did you see this, Rashida? There was a daily entry right here. This was at 640. So if you guys took the daily right here, this actually hit full TP already. There's a lot of trades here on the 10 that we kind of like overlooked. I mean, this would have been difficult for us to take because there was no bias, but if you were just to apply it how it normally would be, as like the regular daily entry. So you can see right here, the overall bias, this isn't necessarily a requirement. This was a new requirement that we added to it, but you don't necessarily have to follow it. If you didn't follow it and you just copied everything else, look for entry after open, first valid K2 momentum signal, which is right here. You enter right here on the open of the falling candle. It's like little to no drawdown, straight to profit target, 1,500 pips. Yeah, I didn't even see it either, Rashida. I'm surprised we didn't see it because we were looking at it earlier for the snipe for that sell, but then this one right here ended up coming. Actually, so for this sell over here, I forgot who was looking at the snipe. Oh, Karen. So Karen, this snipe over here that came up, we actually would have skipped this. I just realized it was at open. So at 6:30 right here, this was opening candle. We would skip that, and you would have avoided it. The one after would have been the daily entry, and this one right here went in line with your 1 hour bias, Rashida. All right, so yeah, a lot of good trades right here on the 10-minute. The 5-minute daily over here looks like it also hit TP, or actually, yeah, you would have done the counter trend 5-minute daily, and you would have taken the buy instead of the sell, or you would have just taken a buy at some point, and it would have hit its TP. 3-minute daily as well, which would have been, there's no daily here for the 3-minute yet. Back to the 1-minute over here. Still no entries for us to take. Price is still pushing up higher, but it did break out of this range right here. There's actually a high-low quick scalp that came up right here. 716, missed that one. All right, there's a possible quick scalp again right here, but from what I'm seeing right here, price looks like pretty overextended, so you might want to be a bit careful. I don't see a pending momentum here, so we'll see if this closes. You just got to make sure there's no pending momentum, right? That's going to be the main key here. My TP stop loss is at 1020, guys, okay? So I've been using a tighter stop loss. It's been it's been working for me as long as I enter at the right times. So we have a possible entry here for a high-low quick scalp. I got to see if it has a pending momentum on the next one. Hopefully not. All right, so there's a high-low quick scalp running right here. It's pushing up. And it hit my TP. So if you guys took that with me right there, perfect, no pending signal, played out perfectly. High-low quick scalp, we have a low right there. Wick showed up, I entered it for a buy, quick profit, locked in 960 off that trade. And that was quick. All right, so we have 2 trades that we took on the live. Nice, Barack caught it too. Right work, guys. All right, so I'll take a screenshot of my profits shortly. Let me see if there's anything else here. Okay, so Dejan over here posted his profits. He said he took an L on open, but he made it right back. So he took a small L right there, but he made it right back. Total profit of 18 for the day. Nice for Dejan, and nice recovery on that trade there. Okay, so looking at this right here, we have a pending signal, so we're obviously not going to look for any buys here or any trades at all. We got to wait for this to establish another, possible entry. And we got news coming in 5 minutes. Thanks, Fahad, for the heads up. Maddie said early day at the barbershop today, locking a little over a band. Some cool with profits. See you Saturday. Yeah, definitely, Maddie. So we'll see you. I'll see you on Saturday or tomorrow. Are you not going to be on the live tomorrow, Maddie? Today's Thursday. I don't know if you think it's Friday, but it's Thursday. It feels like Friday. But yeah, I mean, if I don't see you tomorrow, Maddie, I'll see you on Saturday. Gotcha. Sounds good, bro. So yeah, Maddie, we'll see you here on tomorrow. If not tomorrow, I'll see you on Saturday. And if not on Saturday, I'll see you on Monday. Let's see. Rick said it wicked off the 1018 open. Crazy how these open prices work. Yeah. So a lot of the open prices, I know some other people in the group. I know DJ specifically, he's not here right now, but DJ, he would leave up the opening prices from like previous days. And a lot of those price points act as like really strong structure. So yeah, no, all these horizontal lines that I draw on the chart, guys, I don't leave the opening price from like previous days, but if you guys do, you guys will see that it does have relevance when price comes back to them. They usually bounce off them, or what they do is they return to them at some point in the future. It's like pretty much how the algos work. Yeah, Patrick said, this is where I would trust a pivot scalp entry. Yeah, no, possibly. We'll have to see how that plays out, but we do have the sell signal here. So we'll see where the signal comes up in the other direction. We have some more profits here. So we got John's. Here's Barack's. Barack is currently at 311. Yeah. So you're right, Barack. Barack said, so he messaged me earlier here at 7:06, about like 20 minutes ago. He said going slow to reduce some risk. Session will give him some more, he's sure. And he pretty much doubled his profit. So he's at 132 when he got into the live today. He's been on the live for like about 20 minutes. He's now up 311 today. So great work, Brock. Keep up the consistency there. Patricia over here with some more profits. She said her first account over here locked in a total profit of 5,394. Nice work, Patricia. And her second account over here locked in a total profit of 1,838. So solid work right there, Patricia. I'm going to take a screenshot of my profits as well. Check this real quick. Yeah, I'll take a screenshot of my profits as well. I'm just going to focus on the trades that I took here on the live because I don't want people to think that I'm taking a lot of trades outside of the live session. There's going to be some days where I take trades during Asia, but I just want to make sure that you guys stick to like what we're, documenting. Because I know a lot of people complain sometimes when they see that I have extra profits and they're like, oh, well, you didn't take those on the live, so why are you showing your profits, right? So I'm just going to stick to like the trades that we actually post. So like for these, for example, 2 wins right here, I'll show you my screenshot of like 2 trades that hit TP, where it's pretty much like a green strip. Some more profit right here from Maria. She locked in a total of 420 for the day. Nice work, Maria. Looks like she took 2 of the trades that we took here on the live. Possible pivot scalp entry, the one that you were looking for. Pat, but news. Yeah, exactly. So your pivot scalp came up right there, but it's right at news. That's what I was gonna say. Saw the red line. Let's see. Charlie's asking, when did FTMO switch lot size where we have to put 10 for a 1 lot? Yeah, it was about a month ago. Charlie, it was about a month ago. They had it was only US30 that changed, so just keep that in mind. And the crazy thing is they changed it, but they didn't tell me. But what they told certain people, I got no email from them telling me that the lot size changed, and I I ended up taking a couple of trades that day, and it was like such a small profit. Yeah, I mean, it's ironic. They changed it, and it's been like that for a couple of weeks now. Yeah, Patrick said he got the email about 6 weeks late. I never even got the email. It's crazy. I still haven't gotten it. But yeah, all of a sudden I came to the market like in the morning, and it was, my profits are super small. But yeah, the pivot scalp right here did hit, Patrick. So of course it hit, but it hit like right on news price. So of course we would have skipped that one there. So we got some news price right here. This is 7:30 a.m. US news price. Let's see what the news was like. So the news for today right here was negative. All right, so we'll see where this goes. Yeah, exactly. Patrick's here's gonna hate Sean. I show all your profits because those same people are the ones that will see you make too much even during New York session. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and I totally agree with you. It's just it's hard to please everybody, right? There's just like one certain person that likes to complain about things. I'm not gonna say who they are, but they're actually not even in the group anymore. It's crazy. Not in the group anymore, but they still complain. Uh, there was like somebody in the group. No, not Steven. I don't know where Steven's at. Is Steven even in here? Steven asked me if he could come into the room just to hang out. I was like, yeah, bro, I'll come in. But he's I think he's working like some day job now, so he can't really come on to these lives in the morning. But he's here. Sometimes he's just here watching. He's like in the background, but he's not like screwing around asking like questions. Sorry, guys. One second. Yeah, but what I was saying was Steven's in here sometimes. He just doesn't say anything anymore. He used to be in the chat, like you guys would see Steven, he'd say like random things in the chat. So he'll pop in every so often, but he just he ended up doing like he left for a while, and then he ended up paying this group to like pass his FTMO, and then they blew his accounts, and then he came back, and then he left, and because he saw this Instagram advertisement for an EA bot that would pass his FTMO. So he did that, and they blew a couple more of his accounts. So he's kind of just trying to get his he's trying to get back on his feet, which is, it's all right, you know, it happens. But this time he's gonna come back and just trade. So we'll see. Yeah, Barack said he and the breakout are hanging out together, maybe. Yeah, Patrick said Steven's having diplomatic meetings with Putin. Yeah. No, I mean, some people are like that. Like, I'm sure you guys have been in that situation where you guys have just been looking for the shortcut, right? You guys have been looking for a robot or someone to trade for you so that you can just make money. Realistically, like those types of things are not, they're not real. I mean, you guys can go and test whatever companies you guys want. I mean, Steven's been testing a bunch of companies. He's been part of K2 for like 3 or 4 years now. He'll do good when he trades and he's focused, but then he'll go and he'll see these advertisements of like people who will guarantee passing his challenges and guarantee bots and stuff. And he'll just be sold on that because he doesn't like doing any actual work. But then he ends up blowing his accounts, and then he has to get back on his feet. So I think now he's working like a normal day job right now, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, guys. If you guys have to like work a normal day job to like afford your trading, then that's cool. It's just what I'd recommend is to just not stop trading. Because for me, I like my first couple of years, I wasn't good at trading, and then it started clicking after a couple of years. So like first 2-3 years, I was not doing good at all. Fourth year, it started to really click, and then from now, I've been trading for about 11 years. It's been pretty good. I mean, I make a living off this, so it's cool. Yeah, exactly. Deswell said, yeah, when you make money, you don't need to talk, just focus. Yeah, no, and I agree with you too, Des, 100%. I just wish there'd be some entries here, but there's nothing for us to take. We have a bullish bias right now. So guys, don't worry. I know we're kind of going off track, but I'm still focused on the charts right now. So even though we're talking about this other stuff, I'm still looking for an entry here. In order for us to take a buy here, we need a buy signal. So that's why I'm not really looking for anything at the moment. We need a buy signal. This is kind of what we need. We need price to establish a low. Then we need a buy signal. Need some sort of retracement and continuation back up here. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Price is just consolidating around this area, so don't worry, there's nothing for us to take. In order for us to take any quick high-low quick scalps, we need a buy signal to come up. We don't have that buy signal yet, so we can't take anything. Also, for the SR rejection entries, we need price to reject off structure. You can see structures down here, so don't worry, we're not missing anything. So there's no SR rejections that we're missing. There's no high-low quick scalps. There's no variations. There's nothing for us to take right now. I mean, technically there's a variation right here. So you can see how there's a double body. However, the market isn't really heavily in one direction. So like, for example, over here, for the 1 minute variation, you need to confirm the overall bias, right? Bias right now, retail sentiment is 50%. So we don't have a bias right now. It's kind of just mixed up. It's actually changed. It's now at 53% short. So in order for us to have a strong bias long-term, we need this to be above 60%. So if this goes 60% short, then great, we'll look for buys. Looking over here at the fundamentals, you guys can see how it's a mixed bag, right? Because sentiment over here is telling us to take buys. I mean, this is telling us to take buys too, but it's not very strong. Not as strong as it should. Also, price is going sideways. You can't really see it here that well, but on the clean chart over here, you can see that price. I mean, I drew this zone earlier, right? I drew the zone about like maybe 20, 30 minutes ago. And you can see how price faked out. Price pushed up, faked out, came back down, and it's right back in the zone that it was in earlier. So no worries, guys. We're not missing anything. And I'm still focused on the charts here to see any possible entries that will, possibly come up. So let me scroll down real quick. Yeah, Charlie said, yeah, like you said, if they're that good, why would they have to pass it for other people? They would just make money for themselves. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Charlie. So like whenever you guys see these companies who are like, will guarantee or say that they'll pass your challenge for you, like guys, if they were that good, they would just create their own accounts and just like they would just make a bunch of different accounts across different companies, like how I'm doing here, right? You guys have seen my accounts. I mean, how many accounts do I have now? I have about 7, I think. Like if you're really good at trading, guys, you guys could just make different accounts. Like, so right here, I have 2 FTMO. I have my personal account, Henko, MFF right here. So 3 MFFs and then 1 TFF. So like, it wouldn't make sense because you can see how like people will charge you like $1,000 to pass your challenge. If I make $1,000 per account, it makes more sense for me to just grow my accounts, right? Rather than, and this is like per day. So passing someone's challenge, it takes like about a month or 2 months. So if you're passing someone's challenge and it takes that long, you make more profit from actual trading. So just use your logic, guys, when you guys see these companies trying to pass challenges. And for the most part, a lot of these companies, they're not legit because you can't even copy trades to different accounts like that. If you guys look at FT, or if you guys have tried with FTMO, so I only know this because I've tried to do it myself. Like I try to trade my account and my mom's account and other family members' accounts, and FTMO caught it. Like they knew like right away. As soon as I took a trade on the other account, they like once I passed the challenge on the other account and got funded, they messaged me and was like, oh, you violated our terms. We're gonna have to close this account. So I basically just lost a funded account because I put it on my copier. So just keep that in mind, guys. But the market is dead right now, just like John said. The market is literally dead right now. Price has been going sideways for about 10 minutes, and it hasn't moved at all. It's moved like maybe 100 pips in the last 10 minutes. Man, it's so weird for for it to be moving like this during New York session. Here goes, price pushes a little bit, but it's still moving pretty flat. Yeah, Barack said, I literally work to afford my FTMO challenges. Day job is important for now. Yeah, same with Jonathan over here too. Yeah, CC said everyone's stalling for FOMCs. Yeah, today's Fed day. Today's Fed day. So if you guys look at the news calendar for today, there is a Fed member Cook speaking at 9:30, Fed member Jefferson speaking at 10:30, Fed member Cook speaking again at 10:45, and then Fed member Bowman speaking at 11:05. Then later today, we have the federal budget balance. We just have a lot of Fed news today, right? And that's what Suk was mentioning. A lot of people are just sitting out of the market because they're waiting for this to happen. Because as they speak today, they're going to be discussing interest rates, inflation, recession, etc. So a lot of big economic topics that they're going to be covering. Obviously, I'm pretty sure they're going to start to lean towards actually admitting that we are going to a recession. A lot of the Fed keeps saying that we're not going to a recession, but if you look at the other market makers and institutions like JP Morgan mentioned that we're definitely going to a recession. It's going to happen within the next 6 months or so. So, I mean, as we get closer and closer to the realization that we are going to a recession, then the market's going to start to turn. See, DeJohn said, speaking of day job, let me go call Domino's until I pass this challenge. All right. DeJohn, you can go be a delivery driver with that Hellcat you wanted, or that red eye. And the red eye is pretty crazy. I know you were looking at the Hellcat for a while, DeJohn, but I don't know if you've seen the red eye, or there's another one that is, imagine, that's crazy. Like someone like delivering food in like a red eye, you'd be like blowing so much gas. You'll be working to pay for gas for that day. Rick said, I'm trading before I go to work. Oh man, you guys are funny. Yeah, John said either a red eye or an Audi RS7. The Demon has more HP, horsepower. Yeah, no, definitely. All right, guys. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I know we're kind of screwing around right now, but there's nothing for us to take at the moment. I'm still looking for some possible entries here. There's no entries for any high-low quick scalps. The reason for that is because we don't have a bullish momentum signal. We have a bullish trend, but we don't have a momentum signal to start looking for some buys here. That's going to be one of the main requirements for the high-low quick scalp. So like, for example, here, the first requirement is you have to identify bullish direction. We're looking for bullish because the overall direction is bullish. I mean, obviously there were some sells here you could have taken. Like, for example, we had a sell momentum right here. We had a high at this point. You could have taken this for a sell if you really, really wanted to. You could have taken it, but yeah, like you could have taken the entry right there. But obviously, we're not looking to take anything too risky at this moment. So it would have hit TP, but wouldn't have been a safe move to take. See, Barack said, has anyone failed more FTMOs than I have? I don't think so. Just have to quit trading. FTMOs fumbled me, but the fight is still on. Yeah, so guys, here's the thing with like trading. Sometimes you just got to eat a bunch of L's, right? Like you got to get to a point where like you keep losing, where you realize that you have to change things. That's kind of what happened with me. So like, just quick word of advice. Like if you guys really want to do trading, just don't give up. Even if you have to trade a demo account, you're going to get better eventually. The more times you lose, you're going to start to change your thinking, because I feel like a lot of people are stuck thinking one type of trading way, which is not my way. I see a lot of people who join K2 and they come from different groups where they think they're supposed to trade, supply and demand, support and resistance, stuff like that, which is a valid way to trade. But once you start to trade the way that we do based off momentum, you guys will see that, once you kind of trade more open-minded, you'll be able to lock in more profit that way. Because I feel like a lot of people, like one of the main things I get from a lot of people is that they hate our negative risk reward, right? Like people hate that so much. And I get it. You would hate it too if you lose a trade, because you're going to be back in the hole like 3 trades if you lose one, right? That's why I've been timing mine to 200. So I'm only in the hole like maybe 1 to 2. But the thing with these trades that we're taking here is that they're pretty spot on, right? Like they're spot on to the point where it almost never goes into drawdown. Like for example, the trades that we took here. What did we take today? We took this trade over here, which was an NSR rejection scalp, right? Price barely went into drawdown and went straight to TP. When I take these trades here, we're looking for like the highest quality trade, which is probably not going to hit stop loss. Same with the one that we took over here for the SR, for the high level quick scalp. This one had literally no drawdown. And, I didn't even take a screenshot of my profits. Let me do that real quick. Just to show you guys, if you guys can just focus on like a couple entries, you don't have to take like a bunch of entries, and you don't have to take the huge pushes. Realistically, it's just, let me see my other account over here. I forgot what I took on my other account, but I'm just going to screenshot the ones that we took for those 2 trades there so that you guys can see. I always find it weird when I don't have when I don't have that green strip, but I'll show you right now. For some reason, my second trade didn't have the green strip. There's actually some slippage in my favor over here. It's a good thing. That's good. My TFF gave me full profit, so that's good. My MFFs are kind of spread out. So we're still technically looking for buys right here, guys. So if you guys are wondering, why we're not taking trades right now, it's because we're looking for trades in the direction of bias. Bias right here is pretty bullish, so we're looking for buys here, but we don't have a buy signal. So if you guys are wondering, what we're doing right now, we're waiting for that buy signal to come up, and we have it right there. Now, once we get that, we're going to wait for the retracement so that we can take a high-low quick scalp, or even a variation if something comes up. Man, I got so many accounts. All right, so here's my personal. I just realized that I forgot to change the lot size on my personal, so that's why I'm only making a couple bucks on my personal account. I'm using a 0.03, but before I was using a 0.30. I was like wondering why my profits were so small, but makes sense now. All right, I got a lot of profits right here to post up. So I'm just showing you guys what we took here on the live so that you guys can match it up. Because if you guys want to go back and review this, you guys will know exactly which ones to look at, because I did take screenshots of the trades there. All right, so here's my main account. You can see where it has a green strip. I don't know why this one didn't have the green strip, but it should have, because it did hit its TP. You can see for the first trade, I locked at 910. It was supposed to be 1,000. Some slippage, not in my favor, but it's okay. And then the second trade over here, 960, which is supposed to be 1,000 as well. So that's my main account. Here's my copier. You can see my copier. The slippage worked in my favor, actually. I locked at 910 and then 1,010 off the second one. Here's my TFF, straight flat 1,000. This is what the profit should have been like. Here's my MFF number 1, made 810, 960. My MFF number 2, same thing, 810, 960. And then same thing on my third one, 810, 960. Here's my personal account, locked in like 30 cents off this, some slippage there. I don't know what happened, but you guys can see there's a lot of slippage there, only like 30 cents. I need to change my lot size. I was using 0.30s before. So this should have been, it should have been 300 profit. And this should have been, actually, no, this would have been 180 profit. This would have been $30 profit. If I was using it, because it's just times 10. You just move the decimal over by 1. So you move this over, I would have made 30. This one over, I made 180. All right, so other than that, let me just see this right here. So if there's any other questions, guys, it's 7:51 right now, so it's getting really close to 8. Typically 8 is going to be our cutoff time. The market is pretty dead right now, so I don't really expect myself to hang around and try to squeeze some more trades. And I think the market's just getting a little too risky if you trade after 8 today, especially because we have the Fed speaking. Going back to what Sisu mentioned earlier, a lot of people are just waiting for the Fed to speak today. So that's why the market's kind of dead. Volatility is not there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Patrick said high-low possibly bringing potential for a pivot scalp. I see that pending buy momentum right there. It's not very strong though. You can see it kind of just pulled back, ended up not closing. There's just not much movement in the market right now. As you guys can see, surprisingly, the market's it's like really, really dead. So if we just measure this area, it's probably pushing maybe about like 300 pips on average. Right, on average. So if you look over here, a lot of these candles don't even push 300 pips. Like they're barely pushing at all. And I'm surprised because the spread's still pretty low. It spreads at 180 right now, which is like normal spread. Usually when the spread's low like that, it means that the volatility is high, but the volatility is actually pretty low right now. It's not moving at all. I mean, it literally looks like Asia session right now. And here's a better picture. So if you guys look here at the clean chart, a lot of fake outs, right? So price pushed up, faked out, came back in, pulled below, faked out, pulled back up. And then here again, it's just going sideways. There's like nothing going on right now. Here we go. Price comes back down. But yeah, realistically, there's just nothing for us to take here right now. Let me just copy these over real quick. So yeah, if there's any questions, guys, feel free to drop them in the chat. Let me go ahead and put like a breakdown of like what we're applying now. So if you guys are new here, I know a lot of you guys have came back after like a break. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put let me look at everyone's prompts first real quick. So down here, Joshua posted, he said, I need some help properly setting, understanding the trailing stop and MC4. I said it's a 50 points. On the first position is 50 points, only 5 pips. I can raise that question during the next mentoring session. No, it's fine. Joshua, so I mean, your profits look good, but let me check this real quick. So I don't know if you're here. Are you here on the live right now, Joshua? Or I can type it up. Let me see. So when setting trailing stop, have to use oh, okay, perfect. So you're here. All right, perfect. Thanks, Joshua. So your trailing stop has got to be similar to like your stop loss. So if you're putting 5 points or 50 points, it's like way too tight. It's literally gonna be like chasing it like right behind the current price. So if you wanted to have it at like 50 points, so sorry, I'm trying to like think of it right here. Okay, so 1,000 point, or like it's not really points, but it says points on FTMO. Okay, wait, sorry. Let me break it down. So when you mean MT4, do you mean the FTMO quick trade manager, Joshua, or are you talking about like their built-in stop loss? But you're talking about like the actual platform, right? Just MT4, you're not using like the FTMO quick trade manager because they have an add-on. Okay, so for that, I'm not exactly sure because I've never used that one. I use the FTMO Quick Trade Manager. So for me, for my points, I have to put 1,000. Like 1,000 is equal to 100 pips, right? So for my trailing stop, if I want it to be 500 pips or 50 pips, if I want it to be 50 pips, I would put 500. If I want it to be 500 pips, I put 5,000. I'm not sure what it is for the actual MT4 platform. Let's see. So John just had some input. So does anybody here use the okay, yeah. So Joshua said, okay, so 1,000 points is equal to 100 pips. Sounds like similar to the DOM. Yeah, no, and that's that's exactly what I was trying to get across. So yeah, if that's the case where it's similar to the DOM, Josh, then you would put instead of 50, you would put I mean, if you wanted a 500 pip trailing stop, then you put 5,000. But if you want a 50 pip, you would put 500. So you just got to add a zero to it. I think that's what you're aiming for, right? Yeah. So you just put. I think your trailing stop was just a little too tight. I mean, it's not bad. I looked at your profits here. Your profits are good, but I guess you're getting cut out a little too early, right? That's what I'm assuming. So yeah, instead of putting 50, you would just put 500, and then it would trail it by 50 pips. Oh gosh, okay. Yeah, so Joshua wanted to set his trailing stops at a TP for the scalps. Yeah, I mean that seems pretty solid. If you do like 50 pips, which is you're gonna put 500 points under that, I think that should be good enough. Because if that's the case, then you'll like almost always get to you'll almost get to at least break even for almost every trade if it pushes up, and then if it pushes up higher, you can just keep trailing it even further. Yeah, so Joshua said, so instead of a TP of 100 pips, I'd set the trailing stop to 1,000 points. Yeah, exactly. So that's spot on, Joshua. So if you want 100 pips, you put 1,000. If you want 500 pips, you put 5,000. If you want 50 pips, you put 500. You just add a zero to it because typically you need to add it to the point where you have the dot zero. But since there's no dot function on there, you just add a zero. So it's like kind of like an invisible dot to make it 500.0. Yeah, no problem, Joshua. Glad I could help you with that. Yeah, I know some confusion there because I know some of us use different tools, but if you're trading on FTMO, it should be the same thing. And thanks, Brock, for the heads up too. So there's a pivot scalp right here. Looks like Alexander spotted it. Yeah, the overall bias is still pretty bullish. So if you guys caught it, I mean, great. I don't know if I would have taken it myself because it just I would like the trend meter down here to be green as well, but everything else is bullish. So just looking at this here, everything is pointing towards a buy. Retail sentiment is 53% short, so you want to do the opposite and buy. Fundamentals are up 300 points. 4-hour trend is bullish. 1 hour, 30-minute, 15-minute, and 10-minute. They're all bullish here. Yeah, Madhu said he almost took it. Sam said that the candle was too big for him. Yeah, I think the candle would have been too big for me too. Looks like Dejan took it. Dejan took it, hit his TP. Yeah, the candle's just a little too big. I think that's the main thing that I would have avoided, just the fact that it was so big. Because the thing is, if it retraces back a little bit, actually, if you have a 300 pip stop loss, it's not bad. It fits criteria. I just realized it was at 200. But yeah, 300 pip stop loss right here would have been okay. Oh, I didn't even realize it was a triple. Nice. So some of you guys here identified it as a triple confluence. This trade barely comes up. Like you don't see this too often, but when it does come up, it actually the trend meter is not green. So I don't know if it'd be a triple. It'd be close to triple basically. It's basically a double, almost triple. Yeah, because confirm overall bias is bullish. So that's cool. Momentum signal, we have it there. Trend meter is not green, so that wouldn't have matched, but everything else was fine. Price was above the pivots. So I guess you consider like a double, almost triple confluence. Yeah, Pat said shit, right. Missed the trend meter. But no, you're fine. Because the reason with this is that the reason for this here to be okay is that we have a very strong bullish bias. Like if this here is all bullish, then the trend meter here is going to follow at some point, right? So even if it's blue right here, since everything is so bullish, eventually price is going to follow because we're on the 1 minute chart. So if the higher time frames, like the 10 minute is green, if the 5 minutes green, the 1 minute's going to be green eventually. It's just going to take some time. You can see right here, it just pushed up a little bit, and then eventually now it's turning green. So I don't know if you guys saw Dejan's message in the chat. He said spread on MFF is wide as blink. Yeah, no, the spread is pretty. It might not even be the spread, Dejan. The thing that I started to notice with MFF and what Patricia started to notice as well is that they're purposely executing trades late. So it might not even be the spread with them. It might be that they're just executing your trade super late, and it seems like they're going to blame the spread, of course, because there's no way for you to really understand or pinpoint that it's the execution times, right? Like you can't really tell unless you're taking two trades at the same time, like on two different screens. But yeah, typically it's their execution times. That's what I've noticed too, because you guys have seen my MFF profits. They're a little off, like this right here. Right, I got 810. That's super off compared to like everything else. My FTMOs here are like 910, TFF 1000, but then my MFF for whatever reason made me 810. You can see that the execution time is probably off by like maybe a second, split second, but it's all good. I mean, just got to deal with it. So let me see if there's any other questions here, guys. It's 8:02 right now, so it's past 8. It looks like I'm done for trading for today. Luckily, we did get into 2 trades, so that's fine. Let me look at the other profits for the day as well. Dejan said took a little bit off the pivot scalp, locking the total profit of 55 for the day. Nice work, Dejan. So great work right there. Scotty over here as well, currently up 3,704, doing pretty good. Nice work, Scotty. And then we have Patrick over here, currently up 1,938. So great work right there too, Patrick. Yeah, so you guys did pretty good today. I mean, this morning started as like a pretty crappy market, but then it picked up pretty quickly. Jonathan over here as well took these trades on his Henko account. Total profit of 1,177 for the day. Nice work, Jonathan. Nice. Yes, not bad at all, guys. If there's any more profits that you guys want to share, feel free to post them up. Otherwise, I think that is about it for today. So, all right, guys, if you guys don't have to trade for today, I would recommend just sitting out of the market. The Fed is going to be speaking later today at 10 o'clock, I believe, 9:30 actually. So in about an hour and a half, we'll have Fed member Cook speaking. Right after, we have Fed member Jefferson speaking. And then after at 10:45, Cook's going to come back on the mic. And then right after that, Bowman's going to speak. And then later today, tentatively, we have federal budget balance. So we got a lot of Fed news today. If you guys do decide to trade, you're probably going to see some volatility pick up later on in the session, maybe like an hour and a half from now. But for right now, it looks like people are probably just sitting it out, waiting until the Fed speaks. I'm expecting the Fed. Well, actually, I don't know. The Fed's kind of toss up too. Fed's kind of similar to Biden. They'll release news, but it's like you're obviously expecting bad news because you're going to increase interest rates and stuff. But for whatever reason, they kind of try to sugarcoat it, and price will just get all like bouncy all over the place. So like what might happen here is when the Fed speaks, so let's see, they start speaking at 9:30 around here. Or we'll just say, for example, this was like when the Fed started speaking, right? If you guys have ever listened to like their speeches, it's typically pretty slow. And then all of a sudden you'll have like some random spikes. So you have price kind of just go flatline. And then they say something good about the economy on their opening statement. And then they say, oh, but we got to increase interest rates. And the price comes down. And then it'll come back up, consolidate again for a little bit. And then eventually it'll choose its direction and just waterfall down. And I'm sure you guys have seen this kind of pattern come up a lot, right? Price will go up, they'll say something, come back down, consolidate, and then the real direction comes right after it. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any more profits to post up, feel free to send them in the group. I'll add them to the posts for later today. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up for today. and we'll be back here tomorrow again to wrap up the trading week. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or message me at Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com. Otherwise, you guys can message me on Telegram. It's going to be a quicker response on there. And if you guys are new here and you guys want access to the indicators, just go on the website, KodiKaiTrades.com. You can get your access here. And if you guys are on the YouTube and you guys are wondering, when we go live every day, Monday through Friday at 6:20 a.m. Market opens at 6:20, or 6:30. So we typically go live at 6:20. I'll analyze the market, kind of give an idea of like where the market is likely to go, and then we'll look for trades from like 6:30 to 8. But yeah, other than that, guys, I will see you guys back here tomorrow, and we'll pick back up as we wrap up the trading week. We have no losses so far this week with the official trade, so just keep that in mind. It's been a pretty solid week. Today we had 2 wins. Yesterday, no trades, I believe. Yeah, no trades yesterday, no trades the day before because of the market. And then the day before that, on Monday, we had 1, 2, 3. We had 3 trades. We have about 5 winning trades this week. It seems like a bit of a shitty week, but we're actually up 5 trades with no losses. So, what I recommend is to just stay consistent, stay disciplined, and wrap up the week strong. So, other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow, guys. So have a great